Hello everyone, this is Godzilla Wolf 1 with another Minecraft mod showcase. And today I am doing the Elements mod. Now the Elements mod is one of the main mods in the Equestrian Elementals mod pack, which I presently have installed because it already had everything I needed for this mod showcase pre-installed. So why not use it to make it easier on myself? There's a blue slime island right there. Blue slime island. Or is that green? I don't know. It's a slime island. And there's also crazy ostriches running around, one of which attacked me as I was setting up for this review for no apparent reason. Okay, now what the Elements mod does is it adds the elements of harmony and various other artifacts from the show My Little Pony Friendship is Magic into your Minecraft world, and they do various things like give you power-ups, power-downs, and troll you. Anyway, let's move on. I set up everything here to kind of make it a little more interesting. You'll see why the diamonds are there in a minute. But here's the ores for various things. We'll walk along that as we go along. So, let's get started. Now, this mod is a little unique compared to some other mods in that there's not one set for each element, but each element has one specific item that goes with it, and they form an entire set. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So, let's get started with Twilight's Element of Magic. Now, to craft the Element of Magic, you will need magic gems. And to get magic gems, you need to find magic ore. Which I believe is fairly rare. It's a little less rare than diamond, if I remember from the forum post correctly. But yeah, you'll need to find that, and then you take one element of magic and surround it in gold ingots. Now, the element of magic, if you've watched the show, is a tiara. So when I wear it, kind of look like Twilight. I think this is the post-season 3 version of the element of magic, I think. Because it looks more like a crown-ish thing than it was in the show. The first 3 seasons. If you watch the show, you'll get that. Anyway, it gives you 4 armor bars, which I think is a little better than diamond, I'm not sure. But it also gives you strength 2. So, not only do you get a good bit of armor, you get a buff. Now, the element of magic is unique in this set in that it does not have its own specific weapon, but instead gets the same power-ups, I believe, that every other weapon gets with its specific unique element, which fits the show because this is kind of like the core stone element of the elements of harmony, and without it the other 5 are kind of useless. So instead of getting its own item, you get harmony sticks, which of course are crafted by 2 elements of magic, and you get the magic sticks or harmony sticks. They are just called sticks, so I don't know what to call them. But basically, that's all you get from the element of magic, but you still get strength 2 just from wearing it. So, yeah, element of magic. Now, the next element of harmony is Rarity's Element of Generosity. Now, to craft that, of course, you will need Generosity Gems, which you get from Generosity Ore. Which is actually a really pretty ore, I think, which fits Rarity, because if you've watched the show, you know what Rarity is like. Celestia, do your job. Keep it, Dave, from our recording. Anyway, now to craft the element of generosity, same as with the element of magic, put the generosity gem in the center, surrounded by gold ingots, and, well, element of generosity. Now, something to note is the element of magic can actually stack with the other elements. So I can wear the element of magic and element of generosity simultaneously, and I'll get haste 2 and strength 2 at the same time. Haste 2 from the element of generosity, strength 2 from the element of magic. Take one off, the other buff disappears. Now, to start, I'm going to take the element of generosity off, and I'll put it back on in a sec. But the item that comes with the element of generosity is the generosity pick. To craft that, you will need 3 generosity gems and 2 sticks. Now here's where the cool part of this mod comes in. When I am wearing the element of magic and I scroll over to the generosity pick, you'll notice I now have more effects. I now have night vision 2, so if I turned it to midnight here, I can see perfectly fine. I'm going to turn back to noon though, because stuff will try to kill me if I don't. But if I were to take the element of magic off and put the element of generosity on, I will get the same exact effects. Like I said, the element of magic will just give you the effect that you normally would have if you're holding this with its set item. I just wanted to show that off real quick, but like I said before, you can dual wield these, so they actually give you a heck of a lot of armor points. So yeah, wearing both is highly recommended. Now, the next item in this mod is a bit of a troll item. You'd think this is diamond just by looking at it, but it's not. It's Tom Ore. Now, what is Tom Ore? Well, if you've seen the show, you probably already know, but if you haven't, if I mine Tom Ore, instead of getting a nice, pretty diamond, I get this. I get Tom. Now, what is Tom? It's Discord's big prank joke, a horrific thing on Rarity. Spoilers! But basically, in the show, Tom was a giant rock. And as you can see, because I'm holding a giant rock, I am moving very, very slow. I have slowness 2 on me. And that will actually continue in effect so long as I'm holding Tom, even if I do not have an element on. Now, you're asking, what good is Tom? Well, as soon as I get Celestia to raise the sun, I will show you. You can use Tom to craft stone stuff. That's it. You can use Tom to craft stone tools. Tom is useless. No one likes Tom. There's a reason that no one likes Tom. If you've watched the show, that might have traumatized you, actually. But anyway, let's move on. Through here to Applejack's element. Now, Applejack's element is the element of honesty. And, well, this is Honesty Ore. Honesty Ore... You know, it's kind of ironic that was underneath Tom. Anyway, Honesty Ore is found the exact same way as the other elements. The element of honesty is crafted the exact same way as the other elements. 1 honesty surrounded by gold. And if I exchange my element of generosity for the element of honesty, I will get a different buff. Instead of getting... Well, I still get haste 2. The mod creator might want to change that because you still get haste 2. I'm not sure what they could change it to, though, since, well, there aren't that many effects in Minecraft, but it's still another way to get the same effect. And if I hold the generosity pick, I do not get anything because I do not have the correct element equipped. Now, of course, Honesty Ore has its own tool, which is the Honesty Axe, which is crafted like a normal axe, except with the Honesty Gems. And if I'm holding the Honesty Axe while wearing the element of Honesty, I get Haste 3. So, I guess that is one advantage over the other element, is that the element of Generosity gives you Night Vision, but this gives you Haste 3. So I'm going to cut down this orange tree. I'm also going to shift while doing it because tree captured are on. This is a very fast axe that can tear through trees like no one's business. So, yeah, I think that works fairly well as an item. And I think the trade-off is kind of worth it if you think about it, because while Generosity gives you Haste 2 and Night Vision, which is good for mining, this gives you Haste 3, and a pretty powerful axe, which is probably better for chopping down trees if you want to. Now, before I move on, I'm going to point out something I forgot, and that is that each element can be made into blocks, which, nice blocks, could be useful for building. I think rarities are probably the prettiest, but honesty is also fairly unique and pretty, so not much to it, you can just make blocks out of them. Now, the next element is the element of kindness. Yeah, if you follow my videos, you probably know why I made that voice. If you haven't, look back at them. It's butterscotch. The element of kindness is, of course, Fluttershy's element, and to craft it, you will need Honesty Gems, which are for some reason green. They're green, which is weird. I threw my axe. But Honesty Ore is green, Honesty Gems are green, but everything else with it is pink. Weird. I guess maybe they didn't want to confuse with Pinkie Pie, but I'm not sure. Or they had too many, like, pinkish ores. Anyway, you can make blocks out of it, which you can't really see that well, because Fluttershy has a tiny house. There's also a bunny. Now, to craft the element of kindness, you will need 1 kindness gem surrounded by gold ingots, just like all the other recipes. And this item is a little bit unique. If I hold the other two, I of course get haste 2 with both of them. But if I hold its own unique item, the kindness hoe, you can't attack with a hoe, but I get resistance 2. So basically you're trading out having an offensive attack for being able to have high defense. Which fits Fluttershy perfectly, honestly. I mean, what else would Fluttershy do? She's not an aggressive person, and I've got oranges on me. Now, of course, like any hoe item in Minecraft, you can do farming with it. And, not very exciting, but let's make little Angel over there some carrots, shall we? It's basically a hoe. I mean, there's nothing special about most hoes in Minecraft, except this one you can actually use to give yourself super resistance. I did not give myself enough carrots. Something else to note is the element of kindness does not give you any effect when you're just wearing it on its own, so it's kind of different than the others in that this isn't really an offensive item at all. It's basically just a defensive one, which, like I said, fits Fluttershy perfectly. What you gonna do? Okay, now the next item is Pinkie Pie's element of laughter, which is right there. Laughter. And it's also blue. Like, really pretty blue, too. I like the ore, I like the blocks. This is probably my favorite looking element. At least of the basic ones. There's one that I like the block of better. But the element of laughter, crafted exactly the same as the other elements, with gold surrounding the laughter gem. You put it on, and I believe you get jump boost. So you get jump boost 2 just from having the element equipped, which is really useful and fits Pinkie because she's hopping around everywhere. I mean, have you seen Pinkie Pie? She's like always going across the world like this. So yeah, fits her perfectly. And her item is the shovel of the set. Same crafting recipe as anything, and the kindness hoe is crafted the same exact way as any other hoe, so nothing different there. And also a thing to note is I still get resistance 2 when I'm holding the hoe with any other item, which I kind of think you should only get resistance 1 when you do that, because it kind of defeats the purpose of having Fluttershy's element. Unless I'm making a mistake here. Am I? No, you still get the same effect with any of the other elements, which I think is kind of dumb. I think they need to change that. But anyway, when you're holding the laughter shovel, you will get jump boost 3, so I can jump clear up here onto Pinkie Pie's little circus tent, and... Pinkie Pie, what did you do? It's actually a pretty efficient shovel, by the way, as well. So let's see what Pinkie Pie left us down here. She left us a cake. Thank you, Pinkie. Also, while we're here, let's see how the shovel the pickaxe works here. It works pretty well, actually, and gave us some blocks we can probably use to stack our way out of here. So, yeah, that's basically Pinkie Pie's element and stuff. It actually is pretty cool, and if you're clearing land, I think it will be pretty useful for you. So, yeah, that's basically Pinkie Pie's element and stuff. It actually is pretty cool, and if you're clearing land, I think it will be pretty useful for you. Now, the next element is Rainbow Dash's element of loyalty. Now, the element of loyalty is the most offensive of the set in a way. Looks kind of the most awesome, which makes sense. She's Rainbow Dash, she'd of course want to look awesome. And the blocks are pretty cool. And to craft it, same way as every other element, loyalty in the middle, surrounded by gold. Take off my element of laughter and put on the element of loyalty, and I get speed 2. Now, that's cool enough on its own and makes perfect sense for Rainbow Dash. I mean, she is the fastest Pegasus in Equestria, so why wouldn't she have the speed boost? Now, Rainbow Dash's contribution to the set is the Loyalty Sword, which does 8 attack damage, which is better than Diamond, and is crafted 2 Loyalty Gems plus a stick. And when I hold this while wearing her element, I get speed 2. But if I hold it while, like I said, if I hold it while wearing anything else, I only get speed 2 when holding the sword. If I hold it while wearing her element, I get speed 3. So I can basically cross this whole... Once I start running, I can actually cross this whole place in another matter of seconds. So, yeah, if you want to travel, this is really useful. But of course, it's also a pretty powerful sword. So, let's fight things. And of course, it's nighttime right now, so here's some zombies. They knocked me off, but I can still kill them fairly simply. I did not think this through very well, but I'm still killing them fairly easily. I have absolutely no idea what that is. It's probably from one of the other mods. Alright guys, I'm back, and I admit that kind of went horribly wrong and I fell off a cliff, but I showed you what it does, I showed you the speed and everything, so let's move on down here to the next element. Yes, there's actually another element, though it's technically not an element, it's actually something completely different, but if you've seen the show, you'll understand. It's the element of love, or love ore, and it's pretty ore. I like the ore. I love the blocks. But if you've watched the show, you'll know that this is actually the Crystal Heart, which utterly ruined King Sombra's day. But it is a crown like the element of magic, which means it can be dual-wielded with any of the other elements, and it gives you strength 2, just like the element of magic, and I believe it's not necessarily as good as the element of magic. Because if I was wearing the element of magic instead, I believe I would have speed 3. So it's not quite as good, but I think it probably is up there because it's a fairly useful item to have, and if you manage to get it early like I managed to, you're in good shape. And basically it is exactly like the element of magic in that it has boosts with every one of the items, but they're not as strong. Now there's one more item in this mod pertaining to the elements of harmony, and that is harmony. Yeah, it's called harmony, and yeah. Now this actually does pertain to the element of love, which, by the way, you get by putting an element of love in a crafting table with gold ingots, in that it gets a special buff when held wearing the element of love. So I get strength 2, where if I were to say wield this with the element of magic, I would only get strength 2. Now, it actually does not get the other elements' abilities if you hold it, so keep that in mind. It's best wielded with the element of love. But what harmony is it's a multi-tool. It can do what everything all the tools in Minecraft can do combined. It can dig through stone, through dirt, through sand, through everything. It can mine, I believe, up to diamond level. And in general, it is an awesome thing, but it does not work very well on modded ores. It can pick them up, but it can't really mine through them as fast as it probably should. But you can use it as a sword, a pickaxe, a shovel. I believe you can use it as a hoe. So it is essentially everything in Minecraft combined. Plus, if you're wielding the element of love, you get a cool strength boost. And like I said, you can combine the elements any way you want. This is the configuration I have in my modded survival on the server, which works fairly well. I mean, it almost gives me a full armor just by wearing a head and a chest plate. So with this mod, you can actually be pretty dang overpowered. Now, there is one last thing in this mod that is an armor piece, and it lays down here in the depths. So let us go down. Here we are, deep in the depths of the earth, to find the most evil of all artifacts, the Alicorn Amulet. Now, the Alicorn Amulet, if you've watched the show, is from Season 3, and it's essentially the One Ring in pony form, is how a friend of mine describes it. Now, the Alicorn Amulet is unique in that it is not an element of harmony. It is actually an evil artifact that Trixie used in Season 3 to attempt to take her revenge, and that's probably why you can only find the ore in the Nether. Kind of freaky looking ore, really. And before I put it on, I'm going to take everything off because this thing does not go well with the elements, and you'll see that in a minute. But to craft the Alicorn Amulet, you'll need 1 Unicharm and gold ingots around that. Now, you may notice I already have weakness 4 just from holding Harmony while wearing this. So if you're going to use it, while it gives you a lot of armor bars, it does not mix with the elements at all. In fact, if I hold the Kindness Hoe, I get weakness 2. The Honesty Axe, I get mining fatigue 2. The Laughter Shovel, I get slowness 2. The Generosity Pick, I get mining fatigue as well. And the Loyalty Sword, I get slowness 2. So this thing and the elements just don't mix at all. Like, they seriously do not mix. Now, if you wear the Alicorn Amulet on its own, you will get Strength 3 and Resistance 4. So, it is extremely powerful, but very unversatile. Because you cannot use any of these other items to their full effect, where if you wear any of the elements, you'll get a bunch of buffs. This one, you only get 2 powerful ones. So, I guess it is up to you, and there's a slime up there freaking out. So, it's up to you if you think that is a good trade-off. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. However, this does come with its own weapon, the Unicharm Sword. And to craft the Unicharm Sword, 2 Unicharms and 1 stick. And wielding this, I get Speed 3, Strength 3, and Resistance 3. So, very powerful, very strong, but like I said, it does not mix with the other elements. In fact, I think if I put on the element of love with it, I automatically get weakness 2. So, and if I put on the element of magic, weakness 2 as well. So, yeah, do not mix this with the elements. It will not work well at all. I'm going to wait for this to wear off. Now, to test this, I'm going to spawn myself a Behemoth, which is from Like Knight's Mobs mod, and also available in this mod pack. I just one-shot him. It had 40 HP, and I one-shot him. That's how OP you are with this. And I just fell in lava, and it barely hurt me. But like I said, it's very strong, but very less versatile than the rest of this set. Anyway, guys, that is the Elements mod. And overall, I think it is a really awesome mod, adds a good bit of stuff into the game, and generally is just fun for fans of MLP. Well, even if you're not a fan of MLP, you'll probably get a good chuckle out of a lot of the stuff, and it's actually really useful. I mean, especially if you get the element of magic and just can switch between different abilities at will, I think that's really unique. But anyway, guys, this has been Godzilla Wolf 1. I hope you enjoyed this mod showcase. Bye! I still don't have a catchphrase.